I wrote down 10 hard-hitting rules for artists in 2025. And I'm gonna go through this. I know a lot of you guys like to watch these replays, so I'm gonna have this up. So let's get into it. 10 hard-hitting rules for artists in 2025. Rule number 1 that I wrote down is the artist with the most original sound wins. The artist with the most original sound wins. A lot of artists, especially up-and-coming artists, they're always trying to copy whoever they see on the Billboard charts, or they copy their favorite artist. But copycat artists are the ones that never make it. And if they do, they don't last long. The game only favors, if you're trying to get to the top, the game favors unique and original sounds. So you could look up to somebody, right? You could admire somebody, but don't steal their sound, because you don't want to be identified as like a swagger jacker. You don't want to be identified as the person that doesn't have their sound. You sound like this person. You sound like this person. That's the worst compliment you could ever have. Somebody or a fan not even telling you that you sound like you. You sound like another man. Like that's trash, right? So develop your unique sound. It takes a little bit more time, but the artists at the top, those are the artists that set the trends. So you want to be a trendsetter. Now, the second thing I wrote is imperfection is the new perfection. Imperfection is the new perfection. What do I mean by that? A lot of artists nowadays, they are trying to have this perfect image, right? But imperfection is the new perfection. Think about this. Sexy Red, Lizzo, some of the women that aren't like necessarily viewed as the most beautiful top looking models, those are the people that's crushing it right now. If you, that little Barbie stuff, you trying to look perfect, people don't like that. People don't trust perfect. Imperfection is what people trust. That's how Donald Trump could become president, right? Like, so how else do I want to say this? You can't actually make it right now in 2025 trying to be perfect, trying to be cookie cutter. That shit is over. People want imperfection because they trust it more. Everybody's been burnt or fucked over by something that seems perfect. So that's where we're at with the world right now. So if you're trying to make the perfect music, have the perfect mix, have the perfect master, you're only just screwing yourself over, right? Like, and so many people let this imperfection dream actually stop them from making it in real life. Put that record out, even if it's half mixed, right? Drop that funnel, drop that website. Stop waiting for things to be perfect, because all you're doing is just screwing yourself over and you're wasting time. People like shit raw now. Don't be scared to show your face. Don't be scared to go live on Instagram. Don't be scared to show your personality and to show your persona, because that's what the fans want to see. Your fans care more about your talking voice than they do your rapping or singing voice. So stop trying to be perfect. The game and the algorithm rewards imperfection when it comes to recording artists. Nobody trusts perfect anymore and nobody likes it. I'm looking at the Billboard charts right now. Even if you look in the urban charts, one thing that you'll realize is the songs that are doing the best are the ones that don't even have a good mix on it. It's crazy. Then you have people that are, going to this engineer, having it mastered, having it mixed, re-recording it 1,000,000 times. And then when they finally release a record, nobody gives a fuck about it. See? So we're in a different world right now. Imperfection is a new perfection. Number 3, if you're not building a fan funnel, you're building a fantasy. Let me say that again. If you're not building a fan funnel, you're just building a fantasy. As you know, a fan funnel is what every top artist uses. That's how they're able to sell merch to their fans. I see a lot of artists that aren't making any money, yet they're in the studio. But then when I go on their Instagram page, they have nothing for sale. Rihanna doesn't mind posting her Fenty every day. Future doesn't mind posting his Lavin clothing. Chris Brown doesn't mind posting his clothing, Black Pyramid. Every A-level, B-level, and C-level, and even D-level artists are all making hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars every single year because they have a fan funnel set up, or they have some type of merch link in their bio where they're selling their fans merch. So platinum artists, when you go on their Instagram pages, they have fan funnels and merch links. When you go to independent artists, they have a Spotify link. So one cares about getting to the bag and the other one cares about just having pats on the head and having validation. If you don't have a merch store, if you don't have a fan funnel set up, you're just an entertainment whore. You're just tap dancing for people to like your music. There's ego versus income. Ego is likes, followers, comments, and people just telling you your music sounds good. That's ego, that's not income. That's music, that's not business, right? So you, as an artist, your job is to provide entertainment to your fans. Your fans' job is to pull out their credit card and buy merch and products from you. Your fans financially support your career. You're not supposed to be paying your bills if you're a recording artist. Your fans are supposed to be paying your bills. You're not supposed to be buying gifts from Christmas, for your family and friends. Your fans are supposed to actually buy those gifts. They're supposed to pay for everything in your life. It's your job to provide them entertainment. It's your fans' job to financially support you. But they can't financially support you if you have nothing for sale. So stop leaning on the music. That's the lowest amount of money you're ever gonna make is from music now. So stop leaning in it, saying that you're the best or you got a new EP, album, or single. Dog, if you don't have a merch store or any type of product for sale around that single, then again, you're just an entertainment whore. You're no different than the bums at Santa Monica Beach who just play their guitar but then go sleep in a tent with a bucket in front of them. What's the difference between both of y'all? Both of y'all don't handle your business, right? So when I define an artist handling their business by having some type of t-shirt or some type of product for sale to the fans who press play on your music, because when they press play on your music, you get financially screwed over, right? So that's why every top to bottom artist who are relevant, they turn their fans into customers. So every follower that you have on Instagram, all that is a potential customer. Your followers all have credit cards in their back pocket. If you're not selling them anything, you're just an entertainment whore providing free entertainment. You're just a charity, right? So you gotta have a merch store or funnel. If you're not building any type of merch store, if you're not building any type of fan funnel, then you're just building a fantasy. You're a talented bum. So the fourth thing that I wrote down is attention equals talent. Because in 2025, the loudest voice gets heard first, right? Talent only matters once you capture the attention. Talent only matters once you actually capture your fans' attention. So here's the thing, you have to start posting. I say it all the time, if you don't post, you go ghost. Attention is the new currency, right? So if you can have the best music in the world, you could be the most talented artist in the world, but when they go to your Instagram and even when they Google you, your social media is gonna pop up first. If you don't have anything posted, if you're not posting consistently, daily, man, your fans are gonna check out. They will settle for an artist that's half your age with half your talent, because at least your fans feel like they know them. Fans care more about who the artist is than what the artist does. Why do you think that every major artist is now sitting with a streamer? Because they understand in order to sell their albums, the fans want to hear their talking voice and hear their point of view. Your music is the second thing your fans care about. Your fans care more about who you are than what you do. And in order to get their attention, the best way is for you to use social media. It's free. I'm not telling you to post your whole life, but what I am telling you is you need to learn how to post just once or even twice a day. Because the average attention span is shifting. Your fans nowadays are finicky. Your fans want to live vicariously through you. They want to live vicariously through your Instagram page, through your social media. So if you don't give them anything, they will just go settle. They'll go somewhere else. Let me get somebody in the room here. So let me keep going. So again, if you don't post, you become a ghost, right? So the fifth thing that I wrote down is no team, no dream. Stop trying to be the engineer, the marketer, the manager, the producer. The solo hustling is killing your momentum. At first, you have to learn how to do everything on your own. I get that. But once you master something, then you need to outsource it. If you were starting a business, you would learn how to work the cash register first before you actually hire somebody. because you don't want to get robbed. You want to be able to talk the language. You want to be able to manage that person. But see, far too fast, a lot of artists start hiring managers or music managers, and yet they get screwed over because they don't know how to do it. So therefore, they don't know how to speak the language. They don't know how to like look in there and say, yo, why is it taking you so long to put me on this blog? I've did it before. It only takes 30 minutes. It's been 3 days. You see, you want to learn how to do the job first, and then you outsource it. But the problem is, a lot of artists, they're not even trying to do the job. But it's a two-step process. You got to learn how to run your Facebook ads before you can hire a Facebook ad marketer. You got to learn how to actually build your funnel, or at least understand the basics, bird eye view, before you can actually hire somebody to do it. If you don't know how to do it, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get robbed because you don't know how to manage, right? You can't manage somebody when you don't know how to do the job. But you got to learn how to actually market, promote. You got to learn all these different things. That's your duty as an artist. But as soon as you learn it, you then need to outsource it to somebody else. Because I see a lot of, I know a lot of artists right now, and they do everything, and they're the masters at none. They don't have any type of team. Once you learn how to actually do something, send it all the way out. Now, when it comes to engineering, when it comes to mixing and recording yourself, okay, cool. But if you don't know how to do it, just outsource that. You don't really need to learn that part when it comes to mixing and mastering. Outsource that. But when it comes to things like building your funnel, figuring out what merch you're gonna sell to your fans, learning how to build your Shopify merch store, you need to learn how to do that. Getting your music on blogs, getting your music on playlists, you need to learn how to do that first. Because there's too many scam websites out here who are promising you to put you on different playlists, and then the playlists end up being fake. Look how many artists are losing their Spotify account because they're giving money to these fake, playlist websites, or these websites that are saying they'll boost your streams, right? The feds just kicked into Spotify's, the Spotify building, and I forgot, it was outside the United States. It just happened. The feds kicked it in, right? So they're already being investigated right now about all the different false streams that they've been letting slide through with all these platinum artists. So that ain't the way you want to go. There's so many independent artists losing their account as well. So you need to learn how to do it, or more than likely you're going to get screwed over. Learn how to do the job and then build your team. But every artist at the top, they're only at the top because they stand on the shoulders of their team. You cannot get to the top by yourself. You need a team, right? So no team, fine, no dream. The sixth thing is that I wrote down is algorithms don't owe you anything, right? Algorithms don't owe you anything. They'll drop you the second you stop feeding them. So you need to, again, this is kind of overlapping to what I said first, because I know a lot of artists, I always say that you need to post or you'll go ghost. But then I know artists that will start posting and then they'll stop because they'll say, oh, I'm shadow banned. No, you're not shadow banned. You're just trash at creating content, right? So you got to create content. You got to study it. You got to learn, what does your fans like to see from you? But you won't know unless you post, right? But you got to get good at content. We are in a content market right now. Content is king. The content is the bait that's going to reel them into your music, reel them into being fans, reel them into buying your merch, reel them into buying tickets to your shows. But you got to have content, right? But you have to constantly get better at it. And the only way you could get better is by just doing it at its rawest form, right? Just posting 1, 2, or 3 times every single day. And after that, looking at the data, what got the most shares, what got the most likes, right? What got the most response, and then write that down. And then start doing more of what works, right? So that's just an important one. Always look at the data once you start doing content, because what you don't want to do is just be doing the wrong content. And see, the way the algorithm works is, if you do good content, like everybody who posts, at least 10% of your followers are going to see it. So 90% isn't going to see it. So what they do is they judge by the 10% to see how many likes or follows with 10% of their following are they going to get. And if they actually hit a certain threshold, then we'll release it to another 10 and another 10. So it goes both ways backwards. You get punished when your content isn't good, but then the algorithm actually pushes you everywhere if your content is, but it starts you at 10%. So that means you got to get good. Most people are not shadow banned. Most people, are not blocked or all this shit that people say. You just got to get better at making content. So the 7th thing that I wrote down is consistency beats hype. There's this Bruce Lee quote where Bruce Lee says, "I don't fear the man that does 1,000 kicks in one day. I fear the man that does one kick 1,000 days." So consistently, being consistent, you could be trash at something, but if you're consistent, you will win over somebody who's a master at it. So when it comes to your music, man, post, flood the market, but not just post and flood the market, but consistently post, consistently flood the market. You have to be consistent at anything, especially this music shit, if you want to win, right? Look at some of the artists that are on the charts right now. You may not like them. You may look at some of the people on the charts right now, and you may say, "Hey, like they're trash." Let me get some more people in there. You may look at some of the people that's on the market, and you like Lil Nas X or whoever the fuck you want to say. But guess what? Why is Lil Nas X dropping more music than you? You may say, "Oh, he's trash, man. I don't like his music." Yeah, but the last time you dropped was 2 years ago. This motherfucker drops every month. So of course he's gonna win. So it's not about who has the best beats. It's not about who has the best music. It's about who's most consistent. Again, the Bruce Lee quote, remember that. Bruce Lee says, "I don't fear a man that does 1,000 kicks in one day. I fear the man that does one kick for 1,000 days." Be consistent. Number 8, the 8th thing that I wrote down. We got people coming in a little late. Your biggest flex isn't your streams, it's your sales. That's a big one. Let me say that again. Your biggest flex, it isn't your streams, it's your sales. Every day I got like 140,000 followers on Instagram and more than that if you just count all the platforms. Every day I get so many different artists that hit me up. Yo, I'm getting 10,000 streams a month. Yo, I'm getting 50,000 streams a month. And I'm like, how are you bragging about that? We look at sales. I give you a pat on the back based off of sales, not streams. 50,000 streams. Let's even boost it up. Even if you got 100,000 streams, that don't do shit to me, because 100,000 streams, what's that? Oh, congratulations, you made $300, right? 100,000 streams. If you had something for sale, you could make over $100,000. Because think about this, if 200 people all press play on your music, you're only gonna make 38 cents because that's 200 streams. But if those same 200 people pay you $97 for a piece of merch or some type of product, that's almost $20,000 made. That's off of 200. I got people hit me up bragging, walking around while they're still working a bullshit job, getting 10, 20, 30, 100,000 streams, but yet they're not selling anything to the people that are pressing play on their music. That's clown world to me. The only thing that matters is the number that looks back at you when you put your debit card in the ATM. That's the only number that I care about. I don't care about your stream number. I don't care about your follower number. I don't care about how many comments you have. The only thing that matters in this music game is how many sales you got, how many customers pulled out their credit card and bought your merch. I don't care if they say you got good music. I don't care if they tell you, yo, you got you a hit with that. If you ain't got nothing for sale, then you lost. That's equivalent to a nigga just going on a basketball court and doing a bunch of hot sauce tricks, but he misses a shot. You still got to put the ball in the net. You still got to get sales. I don't care about anything. Only thing that matters is how many sales did your music business make today? Because a business is supposed to make money every single day. Your music is a business. So every other platinum artist, again, they put their merch out there to turn their fans into customers so they can get sales, right? $100,000 a year is just $274 a day. If you're not at minimum making $274 a day, then what are you doing? You're just going to the studio just to give out free music, right? So I don't care about, like, people look at those ego numbers, streams, ego numbers, followers. The only thing that matters is the number that looks at your bank account, the number that looks at you in the ATM when you put your debit card in. How many sales? Tell me about your sales. Stop telling me about your streams. I don't give a shit about how many streams you got. Because if you didn't sell them anything, you're just a talented idiot. Does that make sense? Right? So the 9th thing that I wrote down is, if you're not networking, you're not working. A lot of you have become hermits where you just stay inside. The only time you go outside is to work your job. You still need to be networking. Now, I'm not saying that you gotta go outside, but I'm saying that your DM game needs to be on point. You need to be DMing at least, at minimum, at least 20 A&Rs or 20 blogs or 20 radio stations. You need to be networking at all times. When you see somebody that has something that could benefit you and get your career to the top, you need to be hitting them up. If I look at your Instagram and I just see you writing a bunch of hoes, but you can't write an A&R, you can't write somebody who owns a radio station or a DJ, then you're just a fucking clown, right? Your priorities are off. See, a lot of artists, they don't mind. I meet a lot of dudes that are rappers. They don't mind DMing a girl so they can hit and smash. Yet they won't DM one A&R so they can get their smash and hit heard. Make it make sense, right? So if you're not networking, at least through email. Everybody in this game that could change your life has their email in their bio, and they're just one DM away. And if you can't DM them, you could DM their team. ChatGPT will give you the emails to every blogs. ChatGPT will give you the emails to every top playlist on Spotify. So how are you using AI, right? ChatGPT would then write your elevator pitch so you could copy and paste it and email it to everybody. But let me guess, you got you a hit, right? Who gives a shit if you're not handling the business? The 10th thing I wrote is, the clock is ticking louder in 2025. The clock is ticking louder because AI is making beats. Labels are signing TikTok stars. There's this K-pop girl that just came out. She got a $50 million deal, and it's an AI, right? So we're just in this, we're in this world right now where your fans have a attention span of 3 seconds. So you have to move now and get left behind. Again, you're at one point in time back in the day, you just had to battle other artists. And the attention span for a human was like 20 minutes. They could pay attention for 20 minutes like just 15 years ago. Now, man, if you ain't dropping fast, if you're not posting on Instagram, bro, if it already wasn't harder enough for you to work and compete with different regular human artists, now on top of that, you gotta deal with AI artists. Right? So now you really got to be popping music out. You really need to be on, because now it's you against humans and machines. So all this holding music, all this taking your time, all this like trying to make the perfect record and you better be dropping that shit raw with a clean enough mix. You better be pumping music out. You need to be working and 10xing. We are in a time right now where if you're not even using AI right now, if you're not using AI to compete in the music game, you are going to get beat by somebody who is. No human brain is smart enough to push through anything right now. Every business in the world, every artist in the world needs at some point in time needs to have AI. By the way, Facebook ads is a form of AI. You can spend $100 on an ad and the Facebook AI ad will actually have your music to 50,000 people a day just for $100. You see what I'm saying? If you're not using AI in some type of way, if you're not turning yourself from a human to a cyborg, you're gonna get beat by humans who are competing with you, but they got AI doing mixing, they got AI doing mastering, they got AI ads running everywhere. You're going to get that. We don't live in the age anymore where you're gonna make it just by yourself as a human. You have to be using AI in almost every aspect of your music career to make it now. That's the truth. You may not want to hear it, but you're gonna fail. You're not smart and strong enough now because you're competing with people who have an unfair advantage because they're using some type of AI software. They don't have to wait 3 days for their graphic designer. They already got it out in 30 seconds. They don't got to wait for their engineer to master their music. They're already on Lander using the AI, and it got mastered in 2 minutes, right? They're not deleting the song because they can't come up with the rest of the lyrics. They're using AI to finish the song out, right? A lot of artists right now, they just dump their voice into AI, and they don't even go to the studio no more. They just write the lyrics, and then the AI just spits it out in their voice, and then they call it a song and wrap it up and put it out there. That's where we're at right now. So you need to go back through my program and look at a lot of this AI stuff. I'm about to do a part 2 because there's more shit that's out now. Like you know, while you're trying to sit here and pay $5,000 or $10,000 to your video director, somebody else just put the fucking prompt into their AI and it shot a 3-minute video and already created it using your face, and it looks realistic. And they already got that out the next day. Something that took you a whole month, somebody just did it in less than 24 hours. This is where we're at with it. If you're just doing everything on your own, or you just got a team of humans, you better have a team of humans that are using AI, or else you're gonna get left behind and you're gonna get replaced. So those are my 10 commandments. I hope you guys like this rant. Now I'm about to actually just chop it up with you guys and see if you guys have any questions.